So do you watch helicopter parents hovering over their kids and cringe? Well, the woman once dubbed by the media as the world's worst mom is host of a new show where, in her words, she shares tips to help overprotective parents chill out. Here's her interview with Norma.
You're the world's worst mom. How does it make you feel when people call you that?
Kind of proud, I gotta say. I've grown into the role.
So now you, of course, came to fame or infamy, if you will, when you let your kid ride home from the subway or take the subway by themselves. I don't know. Is not. You know, I guess I have to ask. There are some people who said that was wrong. Then there were some people who said, well, maybe it's a mature 9-year-old who can handle, themselves on the subway. They know how their surroundings. I don't know. You tell me.
Well, he had been asking me and my husband if we would take him someplace he'd never been before, and then we would let him find his own way home. And we had to talk about that, my husband and I, and we decided he speaks the language, he knows the subways, we're on them all the time, we see that they're safe, crowded, but safe, and he was asking us, which indicated that he was ready. And we said yes, and I was the one who let him go, and I guess that's why my husband is not America's worst dad. But it was a great experience for him. It was great.
Now, I'm sure as a mother you must have felt a little panic at the same time, though, thinking, did I just allow this to happen?
I should say yes, and I guess there was probably a little nervousness, but it's the nervousness of when you let your kid go to kindergarten for the first time. I mean, you know that they're doing something, but it didn't feel like he was doing something dangerous. If I thought it was dangerous, there's no way I would have let him, because I actually am a nervous mom. I believe in safety. I believe in car seats and seat belts, helmets, mouth guards. So it's not like I was heedless, but I think what people didn't understand is that I wasn't going to the darkest place. I wasn't thinking, what if he never comes home? I was thinking that he would come home, and that's why I let him.
All right, Lenore, why do we do this? Why do we go to dark places, and why is it the first thing we think of? A kid walks home alone from school, and we're thinking that someone is going to abduct them, and that the outcome is going to be the worst. What is it about our society that has us going there right away?
That's a great question. I've been asking that myself for a long time. One of the answers I've come up with is that our brains work like Google. And if you ask your brain, can my kid wait at the bus stop by himself? The first answer that comes to the top is, no, no, no. What about J.C. Dugard? Or no, no, no. What about Eitan Pates? Because these are stories that we've heard over and over again. We've seen their videos on television. We've heard their names, Eitan Pates' case, for 30 years. And the problem is that in Google, you can sort of trust the first or second results as the most relevant, but when it comes to safety, it's the least relevant. These are cases that are so rare that we can pinpoint them. You cannot focus on these 70 million children in America who were perfectly safe going to the bus stop and coming home. And so we lose all perspective.
Okay.
Our parents didn't lose perspective like that.
You know, it's funny you say that. I remember walking home from school and, babysitting my sister and my cousin. I was probably 12 years, not even 12 years old, I was probably 10 years old. And Mom trusted me enough to watch my sister and my cousin. But at the same time, I was a mature 10-year-old. I think, should it be up to every parent to sort of decide what their kid can handle? I mean, some 10-year-olds are not capable, and then others are more mature.
Totally true. I mean, obviously, you know your children best, certainly better than CPS deciding whether a 10-year-old can walk home or babysit. But it's interesting you used the word trust, because I think that's so key. You said your mom trusted you. And I think when a child knows that the parent believes in them or expects them to sort of behave well and rise to occasions, they do. I mean, you did. You were this good babysitter, I'm assuming. And so tell your 10-year-old, like, on the show, I have a mom who still feeds her 10-year-old in his mouth. She won't let him ride a bike. She won't let him go on an overnight. And it's all because she loves him so much. And the message he's getting is great. My mom loves me, but she thinks I'm a baby. And that's all I'm trying to break parents away from. The parents who love their children just as much as we all do, but can't seem to realize that the message their kids are getting is, Mom doesn't believe in me.
Wow, it's an interesting way to put it, because when a kid gets that message, how might they act that out as adults in later years? I cannot wait to watch the show. It is The World's Worst Mom. She is here. She's got we didn't even get a chance to talk about the free-range kids movement. We run out of time, but
that's okay.
You're going to talk about it on Discovery. It's The World's Worst Mom. Something tells me that that title is unfounded, and I thank you so much for talking to us, Lenore.
Thank you.
Thanks
for finding it unfounded.
Yeah. Sounds to me like you're pretty reasonable, although I can imagine there were some people that just kind of went, what, a subway? You know, but hey, you're his mom, you know him best.
People think the subway equals hell. Yeah, right, thank you.
It scares me. I don't know, but that's me. I'm also not a city dweller, so for me, you know, but you know your child best.
Right, no. Right, and you do know your city. I mean, if I hadn't been from New York City, there's no way I would have put him on the subway. But on the other hand, if you live in the suburbs, you put your kid on a bike. At some point, you have to let go. The whole show is about letting go. It's not about being an irresponsible parent or a negligent parent. It's about being a trusting parent who trains your kid to be safe and then says, okay, time for your wings.
That's tough. Yeah, that's tough. Thank you so much, Lenore. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Coming up in just a minute, the world's best weather forecaster, Marty Snyder, is here. He'll tell us when the temperatures will dip back down into the single digits.